Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a Chakras and Cusswords podcast. My name is Katherine, and I am your host. Today, we are going to talk about the 12 laws of karma, or the 12 laws of consciousness, the 12 laws of the universe, the area of spiritualism that are a lot of the formulas and format, almost like the blueprint to our conscious state, our area of concept. So the 12 laws of karma or universe, whatever you want to call it, are not derived or taken out from a certain exact point of tradition. It's an area of ancient texts or a ancient ritual. It's more centered by the concept of multiple philosophies and multiple energies of spiritualism. And it has a little bit of religious, you can kind of see the religious traits into it as well. It is a very broad center, but there are some big pieces that really formulate this energy of the 12 laws of karma. The practices that stand out to me the most is Hinduism and Buddhism. The concept that karma itself really originated from the Hindu practice and also from Buddha, the Buddha practice, which refers to the principles that there's a cause and effect governing each ethical behavior and each cycle of rebirth. Also, we have to remember New Age spirituality really popularized or made it popular. It made it cool to talk about karma, babe. It just did. The popularization of the 12 laws of karma in the West is largely due to this new modern mystic. I know you guys are modern mystics. I know I'm a modern mystic. And the New Age spiritual movement that definitely integrated from Eastern philosophies to the West, from East to West. And it's here to kind of bring this area of self-hope, self-care, and self-development. It's all about self-development. How can we improve? How can we be a little bit better, a little bit better? Well, not better, but better meaning good, like MJ would say. Ancient and modern philosophy. Many of us love the fact that there's ancient and modern philosophy and so much purpose of here and today. It's kind of like we see history repeat itself. We can see that energy of history continuing to move forward, and we love it, babe. We love it. So many of the principles, such as personal responsibility, interconnection, and actions, and the importance of living in a presence, and also reflections of ancient Greek philosophy and the area of the modern existence, kind of brings these old ancient traditions back to how we are popularizing the 12 commandments or the 12 laws of karma. Universal and moral principles, the concept of the golden rule, right? You do good. You do unto others as you would have them do unto you, which was found in centers of Christianity, Islam, and other religions, kind of echo the similar ideas and ethical behaviors that the 12 laws of karma, 12 laws of the universe, however you want to call it, really brings out this area of awareness and this area of traditions and mindfulness. So we are going to definitely go over the laws and the key ideas and the principles of the laws. First, I am going to read you the 12 laws of karma. So number 1, the great law, or the law of cause and effect. As you sow, so shall you reap. This is centered around to receive happiness, peace, love. It's also really centered on that area of actions. Your action has a reaction. Your actions and intentions influence what you receive in life. The key idea is that positive actions, positive outcomes, all kind of intertwine together. Whatever one puts out into the cosmos, into the universe, one will receive. To receive the love and peace of friendships, to receive the energy that really embodies these qualities. Rule number 2, or law number 2, because does the cosmos make rules? I mean, I don't know. Law number 2. I guess a law and a rule are the same thing, right? Okay, so let's get into it. Law number 2, the law of creation. Life requires our participation to happen. It does not happen by itself. We are the ones with the universe, both inside and out, right? So what does this mean when we think about it? Law of creation. The active participation of shapes our reality. Our active participation of what we create shapes our reality. The key idea is our inner state is reflected in our surroundings. We must consciously create the life we desire. Surround yourself with what it is that you love, what it is that you want, what it is you want to be centered with. What are the emotions you are feeling? How are you able to create an area of emotion into the area of stability, right? Whatever surrounds us gives us centers from our inner state out to our external state. We gotta love the external. Law of humility. Oh, honey. The law of humility. One must accept something in order to change it. In all of us, we see that area of the negative, the positive. It is like this force that is kind of like hard to be reckoned with, but it's still there. The key areas, the principle to accept. The acceptance is necessary for change. So, for instance, if you're a partier and you're seeing all these downward cycles of your habits, but you continue to deny you have a problem, there is never any acceptance. So we can't move past that. We have to accept that area for change. The key idea is focusing on the negativity that hinders our spiritual growth, hinders our personal growth, and hinders our reality and hinders our surroundings. Embrace the situations and the traits and to elevate this existence and to create a better outcome. It cannot be focused on just the higher level of existence. We have to understand that there is a piece of negativity. There is a piece of the shadow, right? We have to understand that. Law of growth is the 4th law. The law of growth. Where you go, there you are. It is we who must change and not the people and the places. We can't change the people around us. We may want to, but for us, we have to understand that we can't change this, right? We can't change others. It's that we have a control over ourselves. We can change ourselves, but we can't change other people. We can change who and what is in our heart. If our heart is deemed with some areas, we can always improve what it is that is in our heart. If we need to open up that heart chakra, if we need to open it up to create more existence for more positivity. The concept is personal change leads to spiritual growth. True growth comes from within. Changing ourselves will then change the world and then change the areas of reflection and people around us. By us improving ourselves, subconsciously we're changing the people around us. The 5th law, law of responsibility. If there is something wrong in one's life, we have to take responsibility for our actions, right? We have to remember that we are the mirror. We surround ourselves in certain outcomes. So let's look at this because there is, some things we can't control, but the law of responsibility. Our external world mirrors our internal state. How is our internal state doing? What is that mirror looking like? Can we see Can we see the reflection? Is it all smoke and mirrors? The key idea is that we must take ownership of our life circumstances as a reflection of our inner self. So if something happens and let's say now we got like a speeding ticket. I mean, we could say, it's not our fault. The cop was making a quota. But is there a chance we were zooming down the highway? Are we taking that area of responsibility? The law of connection. The law of connection. Everything in the universe is interconnected. And this one is pretty deep for law number 6. The area that the smallest thing is seamlessly somehow connected. The universe is connected. Each step leads to another step. Each stepping stone has another step and forearm and decisions that are being made. Each decision has another decision behind it, has another event behind it. It's basically that neither the first step nor the last step are a greater significance. They are all somehow both blended in. They are both needed to accomplish the task. The past, the present, the future, it's all connected, babe. It's all a big mush of interconnection. Everything in the universe is interconnected. Every action, no matter how small this action is significant. And each moment connects to the past and to the present. So we have to remember, like, when people say, ooh, quink-a-dink, odd circumstances. Well, if everything is connected, is there really such a thing as unexplained circumstances? It's all connected. The area of the past, the present, and the future. Law number 7. And when we look also at the numbers too, they kind of have a significance in each law. 6, the area of connection. 1, really the great law, the cause of effect, right? Feels very centered around you being the cause of effect, you being centered with that. 7 is mostly centered around wisdom. So let's look at this law. The law of focus. 1 cannot think of 2 things at the same time. Wow. If our focus is on spiritual values, then that is what we focus on. We can't lower ourselves down to the areas of jealousy, anger, greed. The purpose is the concentration of one thing excludes its opposite. Key idea is focusing on the higher values prevents negative thoughts, single-mindedness, and also the area of emotions taking the best of us, or the area that leads us to spiritual clarity is being centered on the one thought. So reminding ourselves during those tough situations to remain focused on the greater concept, to great focus on the connection, to great focus on the responsibility of the area of growth, of the area of the creation, of the humility, to remain focused in the laws and the cause of effects. So to stay focused. 8, the law of giving and hospitality. The center of 8, sometimes, that could be a hard one. If one believes in something to be true, then sometimes in their life, it's basically centered around what is true. The area of what we put out there is kind of what we get, right? The belief goes that it must have this center where beliefs must be into the practice. We have to have that area of understanding that comes through action. Demonstrating our own belief helps and confirms our area of learning, right? Of giving, of demonstrating the truth. We can claim to be centered in this energy of giving, this area of calmness, this area of connection, but we also have to give it back. It's basically one who puts the claim has to learn that center of practice. One who could, the demonstration has to know that the demonstration is coming from truth. The law of here and now. The presence in the current moment is essential in the area of here and now. Here and now. We have to remember, even though there is a connection of the past, present, and the future, we have to develop the here and now. One cannot be in the here and now if we are always taking steps back. If we're always moving steps back, we can't be centered in the here and now. Old thoughts, old patterns, old shadows, old misbeliefs, old mistrust. If it's constantly coming back up, if we're constantly in the past, we are not in the here and now. While there is no coincidence and all is a law of connection, we have to understand we must concentrate on the here and now. The presence is the current moment. It is essential for movement and growth of the spirit, of the soul, of the movement of you. Letting go of the past and not worrying about the future allows for new experiences and growth. And this is a hard one because, I'll tell you, so many of us worry about the future. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Oh my gosh, what's going to happen to so-and-so? Are my kids going to grow up and be successful? Are my kids going to do this? Are my kids going to get married? I have to have my kids get married. Are my kids going to have babies? I have to have my kids have babies. Am I going to live a long, healthy life? Am I going to be able to pay this and that? Oh, the future. Stop. Relax. Take a breath. Let it out. Take one more breath. Let it out. Listen to the here and now, not the past, not the future. Here and now, enjoy every moment. Enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. Embrace it. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about the past. Here and now, babe. Here and now. Let it be present. Let it be still. Let it be moved in the here and now. Number 10, the law of change. Kind of like the law of responsibility, the law of creation, the law of connection, but the law of change. If history repeats itself until we learn a lesson, that is a lesson, that is a change we need to make. History repeats itself until we learn the lessons that we need to change in our path. So if you're somebody who's always got anger issues and you're blowing up at everybody, and sometimes that passion, you just can't get the law of giving and hospitality down. You can't get that law of focus down. Guess what you're going to continue to see? Problems, situations, patterns, rhythms, until the law of change really happens. Patterns repeat themselves until we learned the lesson. A lot of people believe the area of, when we think about the area of spiritualism and numerology and life paths, that area of the life path number, this individual's living in this life path number because that number represents something that they have not changed quite yet in the other lives, in the other karmic realm, right? What is it that they have not changed? What are they coming back to learn one more time? What are they coming back to give one more time? What are they coming to complete one more time? The law of change, recognizing and altering the repeating patterns and breaking the cycles, fosters progress. breaking those generational curses that affect the individual, that affect the generation, that affect the future generations, that affected the past generations. But breaking those cycles is the law of change. The 11th law. The 11th law. Law of patience and reward. All rewards require some type of toll, some type of payment, some type of, when we give, right? And when we receive, it is a exchange. It is an exchange of gratitude. It's an exchange of rewards. It's an exchange of benefits. It's an exchange of rewards in a toll, in a exchange. If it's material items, if it's happiness, if it's whatever it is. The true joy comes from doing what we're supposed to be doing and knowing that there is a reward to it that most likely isn't going to come in material substance or an energetic exchange of that matter. It's going to come in more of a energy source that feels higher. It feels more aligned in the spirit, and it feels more aligned within. Even though the fancy cars are nice, the Gucci bag is fun, the area of being able to go certain places, travel, maybe, going into that area, but what is it bringing on the emotional level? What does it bring on the solar level? What is it bringing on the spirit level? What are the connections that it is having centered with that one person? True rewards come from persistent effort. Persistent effort is such sometimes damned if you do, damned if you don't. We got to keep it light. We got to keep it here and now. The persistent effort, the movement of the persistent, the key idea of patience continues to work into the leading of rewards. The fulfillment comes from knowing one is on the right path. No matter what, right? If it sits centered with you, if it sits centered with where you're at as a person, if it sits centered on your path, on your here and now, and it makes sense to you and there's a reward within, you're on the right path. Right? You wake up, you still want to do it. You wake up, you still enjoy it. You wake up, you still see that energy that allows you to embrace it. The here and now is speaking. You're not living towards the future. You're not living within the past. You're centered on the area that patience is a virtue. And I talked about this, like the area of rushing. Oh my gosh. Trust me, I'm a late bird. I mean, I do sometimes run a little late. I will say your girl's got some tardies on the HR report. Fuck, whatever, right? It's not a big deal. It's living in the moment. It's the here and now. All of a sudden I get an idea. I'm going to jot down that idea. If I clock in late, I clock in late. I don't care. The patience, right? But what is this that we have to be at this? We have to live by the clock. We have to do all these things by the clock, by the clock, by the clock. Time is of the essence. Why rush through it, right? Why rush through it? Why get so jittery? Oh God, I got to run down here. I got to go to the store. I got to cook dinner. I got to do all the things. And the time clock is click, 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 clicking. Oh, fuck. Somebody shut that timer off. It's just, we got to rush. No, we don't. Sure, do we have to be responsible? Yes. The law of responsibility says we have to be responsible. So, of course, we're going to set our timer, especially if we have a job. We want to make sure our alarm's on. But we are definitely need to slow down, I think, as a nation, especially here in the U.S. If you're tuning in from somewhere else, is it all go, 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 move, 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 move. We have to remind ourselves, slow down. I think one of the best employers is somebody who understands that you need to slow down. As a nurse, that was one of the biggest things, especially a nurse in the emergency room. I'm still a nurse now. I still work as a nurse. And there is a part of me where I'm like, boom, 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 let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. But in the emergency, it was very chaotic. And there was times I felt like I could never slow down. I could never be like, let me breathe. Let me breathe. That's when the mistakes happen. That's when something fucks up. That's when your patient falls. That's when something happens, is when the go, 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 when we are rushing through it all, rushing through life. Don't rush through life. Don't rush through life. Take your time. Enjoy it. Take your time. The 12 laws, here's the number 12. The law of 12. The law of significance and inspiration. The value of action lies in their intent and their energy. The key contributes to the world are significant when done with love, when done with purpose. I mean, it seems so simple, but it seems so right. Every act impacts the whole, the collective. I can't remember when I said, but I'm here for the collective. Okay, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be a liar, but I'm here for myself because I receive gratitude. I receive interpersonal faith. I receive interpersonal hope. I receive interpersonal reward. I receive that interpersonal area of change and focus. And I receive it, but I'm also here for the collective. Right? I'm also here for the collective. I want to share as much as I receive. So the area of world significance is something that we have to understand to get back. One gets back from something, whatever they put in. So if we put in a lot, and 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 we put in a lot. And the energy of intent is putting it in for certain selfish gains. Let's say we're putting it in because we want money, honey. We want to be famous. We want that money. We want to be famous. We want to be on Jay Leno. We want all the things, right? We're putting it in for that. We're putting it in for, I don't know. I sometimes think, are we putting it in for attention? Because now attention is the biggest currency, right? Are we putting it in for intention? So, I mean, sometimes I don't even like attention. Sometimes I love it. Sometimes I don't even want to deal with it. But it's having a direct energy with the intent to put it in. If I know somebody is a little happy when they see new episode, Chakras and Cusswords, new episode, and they say, oh, let's see what this crazy girl got to say. Let's see what she got to say. That brings a little smile to me. So in some ways, there is that little bit of selfishness, but there is also that area of contribution for the collective. So we have to, if that's donating clothes, if that's teaching, if that's loving, understanding that every act impacts the collective, impacts the whole, impacts the world, impacts the lessons. And these laws have been collectively influenced and been put together by a lot of intention and actions and outcomes from guiding individuals. And they are an area of fulfilling a purpose. And I think when we have laws, like people have the commandments, you know, if you are centered off of the 12 laws of karma and spirituality, the 12 laws of consciousness, that area of growth, of spiritual growth. It kind of reminds a lot of people of the 10 commandments. Is it 12 commandments? 10 commandments, I think. And it's centered more around that, is understanding that these are the rules of the energy. These are the rules of the guiding forces. And while we can have laws, we can also have peace and fun, right? So I want to share that with everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and everybody have an amazing day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to Chakras and Cusswords podcast. Also head over to the YouTube channel and also the TikTok, Chakras_Cusswords or Chakras and Cusswords. On the Instagram, it's all Chakras and Cusswords. Oh, just follow wherever you can. And also I was thinking it'd be cool if you guys ever are listening to the podcast and you have something you would want to share or something you would want to talk about, tag me and I will share it on the Instagram and see it. Also, I've been trying to use the hashtag Chakras Cusswords. If you have something that you would like me to look at, use the hashtag, tag me in it, and everybody have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. Bye.